Hey guys, it's Kate, and I got another TEMU art haul. So I guess this is sort of the 1 year anniversary, and I got another bag, so I thought we could unbox this together. Now, there have been several people who've been telling me about this Academy watercolor paper. So I ordered one. I actually had like a 40% off coupon, I think. So I got the big pad, but I also got a couple of little blocks. And this is that BaoHong, I think that's how you say it, paper. I have never used this, but apparently it is very good paper and they sell it on TEMU. So this is the first item, and I'm going to try this paper here today. Let me get everything else unpacked and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got the whole pile of stuff here, so we can go through one at a time. If there is especially crackly stuff, I will turn that down for you and be quiet while I unwrap it. And I think there's going to be a few things like that here. But this is the smaller one I got. This is 10 by 7 inches. The first one was 10 by 15 inches. They're both 20 sheets, and they're both 100% cotton. And that's all I know, I guess. They're both 100% cotton. This is cold pressed paper, both of them, and it looks really good. So I'm excited to try this. I'm just wondering, I think I might have gotten, yeah, I got a third one too. But I think this is a lighter weight. This one's 200 and this one's 300. So I'm not sure. I'm going to have to check this out. Next up, these tapes. If you've been watching my videos recently, I've been getting these 2 centimeter tapes. This is the artist tape that they have on here, and it's around $1 a roll. This stuff has become my favorite to tape down paper. This is actually a new brand that I'm trying. This is another one that I've gotten, but they look exactly the same. So I'm going to check this out in future videos, because this is actually my last roll that I have, and there's really none left here. So I'm excited about that. But this tape, it comes up so easy. It kind of looks like masking tape, but it's thinner. And I'm going to put the prices I paid for everything below, but it's really reasonable and it goes a long way, and it doesn't pull up my paper 99% of the time. Every once in a while I'll have it get stuck, but it's been awesome. And here's another one. These ones are a little bit more squished than the ones I got previously, so we'll have to see. But it looks like the exact same tape from the side. Okay, I got some brushes. These are some, let's see. These are the watercolor brushes I got. Kind of like a liner brush. It's been a while since I ordered this. I'm trying to remember what I bought. They look okay, but if you look, it kind of looks weirdly carved at the end. Let me see if I can get a close up here. You see that? Where the brush meets the handle? I don't know. They look a little weird, but you know what? I got this quill brush last year. This one here. I got this and did an unboxing last year, and it's one of my favorite brushes, and I was feeling a little weird about it because it doesn't seem to meet the barrel all the way, but it's been a wonderful brush. So I will have to give these a try, see if they shed or anything like that. Let's get this opened. Oh yeah, this is the calligraphy brush set. Look at these. They're kind of big. I think these ones I got, they're supposed to be natural hair, but let's see. They have that coating on them, so they're kind of hard right now. I got a jar of water, so when we're ready to paint, I'm going to do it now. I just pulled a hair out of the lid. So there might be a little bit of shedding at first, but we'll see how it goes with these. These, I was so excited to try. I think they are those woody dupes, and they are the 3-in-1. This is an actual woody, and they're almost exactly the same. I'm going to have to compare. I actually only have the yellow. I bought a sample on Jerry's Artorama a while back, and I've used it in some different art journals and stuff, but I'm excited to see how these perform too. And it appears to also come with a sharpener, and it is much cheaper. Now, I don't know what the performance difference is, but what I'll probably do is grab the yellow out of here and compare it with the one I have and see how the brand performs comparatively. This is like Christmas. Okay. Next up, I got a set of Hake brushes. I started using one. I've got these 1-inch ones. They're goat hair from Jerry's Artorama, and I really enjoyed using it, and I've been using it more, but I wanted to get some wider ones too, and they had this 3-piece set that's very reasonable. You can see how they're put together here in the middle, and it's sort of tied together. I don't know how that's going to hold up, but I guess it just depends on how strong the string is. So we'll see with, with adding water and the swelling and everything, how these actually hold up. But I think they wouldn't actually be very hard to fix, because it looks like the brush is actually bound together and then it's slipped in between the wood. So we will see how these hold up over time. I'll make sure to put them in some videos. Okay, next up I have a glass dip pen that I bought. And this is something that I've been wanting to replace one that I used to have. I had one a long time ago that I bought, I think on Amazon, and the tip actually broke off one day after I'd had it for a while. So I was excited to see that they had some on there, and I thought, well, for, a couple of bucks, can't go wrong. So I went ahead and got it. I think you can choose different colors. I got this really nice sort of aqua color, and you can see the tip is pretty fine. Let me get a close-up in the camera for you. So that'll be kind of nice. This looks like a toothpaste holder piece of plastic. So it's not going to keep the brush terribly secure. I'll have to find another storage spot for it. But for now, I'll put it back in here. But this is not ideal. But it did have some bubble wrap on the inside to protect it during shipping. So that's really nice. And it looks nice. Okay. Oh yeah, got some other dip pens too. These ones are bamboo. And I really wanted to start trying some dip pens, and I had tried some calligraphy pens where you can put the metal nibs in, and I just didn't feel like I got the hang of them. I'm trying to get this in focus. There we go. So these are the 3 pens. They are different sizes, and it's just carved bamboo. It's natural wood, and they feel very light and very dry, and I'm kind of excited to try using these to make some organic marks and stuff and use them with some of my acrylic inks, and that's kind of why I got them to try. I'm wanting to delve into dip pens more. All right, last but not least is this other pile of stuff. So I wanted to get some different things for art journaling. And mostly what I got is sort of vintage writing like this. This is, I believe, a sticker. Let me see. Yep, this is a transfer sticker, and I don't know. I thought I would have gotten more. I don't know what this is. Hang on. Okay, it looks like there's two. I don't know why I would have gotten two. I'm going to have to look at my order again. Let me zoom in too. Okay, so this is like a vinyl or plastic sticker. You can see that sheen on it, but it is transparent and there is readable text on it with some sort of ink splashes and stuff like that. So I thought this would be kind of fun to put on a journal, but most of the stuff I got, I think I got multiple pieces in a pack, and maybe I just didn't read the description on this well enough. But anyway, I got 2 pieces of those. I got these small talk stickers. This is 8 sheets, and it's got just some little sentiments and stuff on it, in just plain text. And I know that there's a lot of packs of these that go around, and it's almost like it came from a label maker or something. And I wanted to try using these more in my journals. I don't typically do sentiments, and you can kind of see what's included in this. I'll kind of hold it up. I think there's just 8 sheets of the same, and they look like that. And I thought it would be fun to just be able to use these some more in my art journaling as something fun and interesting to do. And I also got some clear tape. And this was something I was really excited about, actually. It is a clear tape with like vintage writing on it. And I thought this would be kind of nice to use in art journaling and stuff. So it's not really legible, except for a couple little things. And it's got some little like florals and things. There's a mushroom there. And I think this is sort of a shiny plastic tape. But I'm really excited to use this. Maybe just cut off a little strip and put it down the side of a page or something like that. So I'm pretty excited to use that. And I have another pack of stickers here that I got. And I think all of these were, you know, a couple of bucks or less. And I just wanted a bit of a variety of things that I could use. So I believe these are also stickers. And there's a pretty big bundle of them. Okay, I need to stop talking before I open the package. These are not stickers. These are papers. I'm pretty sure. I don't see any backing. So these are actually die cuts. And they are like little labels, if you can see that there. So you can add them as little accents or something onto a vintage page. And there's quite a few different ones here. You can see there's not a whole lot of duplication going on. I don't know if there's any duplicates at all, but it doesn't look like, if there are, that there would be a lot. There's a lot of variety here, and it kind of all goes with that same sort of vintage tan kind of color scheme. So these will be a lot of fun to play with too. I've been getting more into collage and things like that, and I thought it would be nice to just get a few fun little papers and stuff like that. Here is another pack of sentiments. And these are also just basic text, although they are like the plasticky, shiny stickers. Let me get this up there. There we go. So these are the plastic shiny stickers, and they've got different kind of neutral colors, and they have their paper backing. And there's a whole list of different sentiments that they have, and they're all, you know, a couple of inches big. Please enjoy the unavoidable pain. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. And I wish you to know that you have been the last dream of my soul, Dickens. So anyway, these are pretty cute, and I kind of liked these as sentiments too. So I think there are maybe 50 in this pack. I don't really see where it says on the package, but I think it's somewhere around 40 or 50 in here. But don't quote me on that because it's been so long since I ordered this, and I've been waiting to do the unboxing. I haven't actually opened any of these, and I've been putting it off and putting it off because I wasn't ready to record. And so I've been really excited to use these things, and what actually finally made me do this unboxing is I really need to use that tape, and I knew that was in there. So anyway, the rest of what I got is stickers. I got a second pack. It's the same type of sentiments, but different words. So, but the same size, same kind of color scheme. I got 2 of these with different words. And then lastly, I got just a couple little of these. They're like vintage florals, and it's probably curated from old illustrations. A lot of those vintage drawings are public domain now, and so there's these, and some of them may even be pictures. This kind of looks a little bit more realistic. But these are not stickers, but they're little die cuts, but they're transparent, and they're like a plastic. And so you can put them in your journals if you wanted to, but they won't have a border. It'll just be transparent and blend right in with whatever you put it over. So let me see if I can grab a piece of paper. Okay. I'm going to put this piece of paper down just so you can see without being on my on my tabletop. So we've got some pine cones and some leaves, a couple acorns, some sticks, and oh, these are pretty. Look at those. And they're just plastic, and they're small, so they won't, you know, be a giant focal point or anything like that, but they're very pretty, and they do look kind of like pictures. Let me see. I honestly can't tell. They're very natural looking. I think they're images. This looks really detailed to be a drawing. I think that's a picture. So these are really neat. I'm going to enjoy using these, especially with fall coming up. I think these will be really pretty, and I might even put some on my greeting cards and things like that. I've been making tons of greeting cards lately. It's been pretty fun because, you know, it saves money, it's fun to do, and I don't have to make a special trip to Hallmark. Everybody's getting handmade cards this year. And they're probably going to get one of these little doodads on there at least. Maybe might do like a watercolor background and maybe seal these in with some nice matte medium or something. Take away that plastic shine but still keep it transparent. That sounds like it'd be pretty nice. And the rest of these are the same. So I'm going to keep this paper out so that I can show you what these look like. This is 40 pieces of dried flowers. And it's the same thing. These are all just clear plastic die cuts. These ones are a little bit larger than the first pack. Also photographs, and you can tell right away. But a lot of leaves and different colors. So you've got some ferns here. You've got some of these other leaves. This looks like blackberries maybe. Actually, it looks exactly like blackberries. I think it is blackberries. Lots of different leaves. I don't know. I'm not a botanist. Is that what you are when you study flora? But anyway, there's some fall leaves in here, and I like these red ones, and a lot of greenery. And these will be really fun to use too. I'd say they range from a couple inches long to, let's see, this one might be about 2 inches, and this one might be 3 inches long. And I'm trying to find if there's any that are much larger. Looks like about 3 inches. This could be pushing 3.5. So they're kind of medium sized compared to that first pack. Okay, next up is this one with flowers. This is also, let's see, this is 40 pieces, I think. Yeah, so this was 40, the other one was 40 also. These are also a little bit larger, and I believe they are also photographs. So let me take some of these out, and they're upside down. But these are like dried flowers, all of them. And so you can see the really nice texture of these. They are photographs of dried florals. There's some roses and all sorts of things in here. I think a lot of roses actually. But they're so pretty, and they're just very vintage looking. And it's like just all dried bouquets, dried single flowers, and all different colors, but they're all kind of muted tones, and I really love these. These are all 2 to 4 inches long. Also, it looks like this single stem rose is pretty long. I'd say maybe about 4 inches or 3.5. Same thing here, but then you also have some of these shorter pieces like this one right here. So there's a pretty good variety, and they would all go together. I like these white ones here. This is cotton. Ha, those are little cotton balls. That's neat. I love that. Okay, so that is what is in this one. And again, it's like that clear plastic. And so it's going to be transparent over anything you put it on. And I want to say if you put matte medium over it to seal it in, it should take away some of that glossiness if you want. Or you can embrace the shine. Up to you. And I guess it would just depend on what you're going to use it on. This is such a fun unboxing, and it's not a huge art haul. Mostly, I just wanted to try that paper, but I got a couple of these other things too. The paper and the tape are regular purchases of mine, and there's a couple of things that I got in my first haul, which was one of the first videos I did on this channel about a year ago now, and there were a few things on that haul that I still use all the time, especially that one brush. So I've been happy with the brush that I got, so I got some more brushes. I like the tape from there. I'm not sure how I'll like this tape. It's, but I think it's just maybe crushed from shipping, so we'll see. And I don't know, certain supplies I really like to get there, and it's kind of funny because you can get the exact same items on Amazon, but Amazon has a pretty big premium, probably a lot to do with the selling fees that they have on there. So it's kind of interesting to see, you know, searching on TEMU for things and searching on Amazon, and it's the exact same thing. Probably the exact same seller, because as you know, TEMU is just another marketplace as well, kind of like Amazon is. And so you can get really the same thing. I mean, there's, no matter where you go, probably 90% of consumer goods that you buy, like this type of stuff, is made in China. So it's almost like you're kind of buying it from the source in a way. So anyway, these are some of the elements on here. This is another pack, and these are much larger. I'd say most of these are closer to the 4-inch mark, and you can see this one here is particularly large compared to the size of my hand. And I think this is also 30 or 40 in this pack. Man, I just don't know. It's River Wild Wandering Monet Gardens, and it's inverted images, and they're really beautiful. They're all black and white. They look like just like line sketches, very basic, and there's a good variety here. Some of them are a little more realistic. Some of them are a little bit more sketchy, like this one, but they're just really nice. And they're also clear, you know, plastic or vinyl, whatever they're made of. And it looks like there are 15 different designs. So they're on the back of this, although part of it is covered up with the tag. But there are some repeats. I think they pretty much have doubles. So I'm going to guess it's a 30 pack. So I'm in the middle of cleaning up, and I realized I forgot one of my tapes. This is another one with some words on it, similar to that other tape that I showed you, but this one just has some text and words. And so this one's kind of fun too. You'll get to see these in some future videos. I don't think that we know how the stickers are going to perform. So I think I'm going to do what we all came here for and test out the paper. So off camera, I was looking for a few minutes at these papers, and I accidentally ordered one that is 200 GSM versus 300 GSM. So 300 is 140 pounds, which I am used to working with. And this is 300, which is basically the 5x7, 180 by 125 millimeter. And then this one is the 15 by 10.2 inch, which is 380 by 260 millimeter. And this is also 140 pound. However, the 10 by 7 that I have, this is 200, and they're all 20 sheets, but you can see the huge difference between the size of, actually the thickness of the paper. So that will be interesting. What I'm going to do today is open up this, you know what? Why don't we test the 200 versus 300 GSM? What the heck, right? I'm going to leave the big pad for another time, but the paper is going to be the same. But this is a beautiful pad. I really love this. And I'm hoping that I am as happy with this as I've been with some of the other papers that I use regularly. If you have been following me for a while, I tend to use B watercolor paper. I also use New York Central from Jerry's Artorama, and I have tried a couple other different brands too. I also have Arches or Arch, whichever camp you belong to, and I really enjoy that too. Now, I have heard, from what I understand on these papers, that the Academy is very good quality. They also have an artist paper that apparently is prepared the same way as Arch. So, what I'm saying all that to say is, this is supposed to be pretty good stuff. I'm just grabbing my X-Acto knife because, boy, this thing does not want to open. There we go. All right, let me just get this other one out of the plastic, and then we'll take a look at the differences. Okay, so I've got this one open. This is the 10 by 7. So the bigger pad, let me zoom out a little. Okay, So the bigger pad, just keep in mind, this is the thinner paper. The smaller pad is the thicker paper. I'm going to set these aside for a second. Okay, so when you flip these open, this one has kind of a lovely little purple color sheet, and I kind of like that touch over the top of the paper. So this feels a lot like arch paper. It's got that kind of rough texture. These are both cold pressed. They're not rough. Oh, this one has a little cover sheet too, maybe? I don't know. It looks a little bit green now that I have the other paper off. Huh. It is. Now, they do get slightly busted up at the corners in shipping, but not noticeable. And actually, this one's in really good shape. This one, the outer part of it got a little bit dinged up, but the paper inside still looks pretty good, except for the very top sheet has a really slight little ding in it. But other than that, the paper is in beautiful condition, and I'm rubbing it, and the texture is just fantastic. Actually, it's just like the arch paper. So I don't know if I'll be able to capture any of the texture on camera, but I'm going to try. All right, but we'll be able to see some texture also once I get that paint on it. So it looks like the opening is right here on top. It's about that wide to stick a tool into and get it off of the block when you're done painting. Same thing here. The opening is up top. And yeah, let me see. Yep, this is all right, I've got the protective sheet off of both. So I think that's a lovely touch. What say we do some painting on these with plenty of water and see the difference between these two papers. They feel the same as far as texture. It feels very thirsty and slightly rough to the touch, kind of toothy, and I don't know, it's nice. I'm trying not to rub it too much. I'm actually loving rubbing this right now, but I don't want to get my finger oils all over it, which could greatly affect the way that this whole experiment turns out. So let's start by, actually, while I have these out, let's test this compared to the woody. I was really excited when I saw these, and if they look the same, then that's going to be really exciting. So here is the official unboxing. You get this really cheap paintbrush, which I'm probably going to throw away, and you also get this nice giant sharpener. So it's nice that they include the sharpener, because that is definitely a needed item. So pulling this out, I'm going to compare apples to apples here. It is a little bit longer than my woody. However, and this is just using my hands, they feel around the same weight, which tells me this probably has less color in it, and it might be wood to here down, who knows. I am tempted to sharpen it, but I want to actually use these. So, but color-wise, the TEMU one is slightly more, I guess, golden, where the woody is more of a lemon yellow. And I don't know if you can see the difference there, but let's give these a try. So I'm going to do some drawing here. TEMU is going to be on the left. Woody will put on the right. And right away, the TEMU one, they both feel waxy. I'm just trying to alternate back and forth. They both feel waxy. They both go down very well. they both look about the same on the paper. So let me get a wet brush, and why don't we try one of these new brushes? So I am just going to grab one of these calligraphy brushes. I don't have a number or a size on this, so we're just going to wing it. And I'm going to get it wet in my jar of water. It feels, because I'm doing the brush too, I've never had a calligraphy brush. I have one hair that's come out so far. Here's some more hair. Here's some more hair. Oh man, this is, all right. Well, my brush is shedding quite a bit, but let's see how it deposits water. It feels kind of rough and it looks frizzy. See? I don't know if I love this, but let's just forge ahead and use it. It feels like it could, man, I'd still have just hair coming out of this. I don't know. This could actually be natural hair, but I don't think I like this brush. So here is this one. This is, gosh, is it TEMU? Is it Woody? This paper is really nice. All right, got these both. I really don't see any difference, and I can't even remember which side is which. I should have written it down before I started yelling about my brush, but here we are. But this thing is just depositing hair everywhere. It's awful. So these, not a good buy. And I don't have a name on them. Well, hang on. Yeah, I just double checked the packaging. These came in a pretty much unmarked bag. It just had a UPC. But if you see these with the little loop and this, I do not recommend. It's just shedding like crazy. I'm going to put this away, which is a shame because I was really excited about getting calligraphy brushes, but I'm going to have to go a different route. So this one, big fat thumbs down. Now, let me try these. These ones are in packaging with labels, and the label says, I kind of looked in here, but the inside is kind of funny. It says along the back, high quality paintbrush. So it is Artist's Painter Friend Professional Artist Brush. And this is the brand name. I'm going to hold it up to the camera. That's it right there. It comes with 6 different sizes. And let's try these out. These are like liner brushes. I'm going to choose one of the larger ones. They're not numbered. They kind of remind me of pencils. You can even see the tip. It's just kind of like, I feel like I could just put that in a pencil sharpener. And the little protective ring off, and you can kind of see it looks like a little metal ring inside the wood. And it's very light. It kind of, I don't know, it looks like a pencil. It feels like a straw that you would get at Starbucks. It's super light and it almost feels hollow. So let's see how this looks. This actually comes to a decent point. I can't pull any hair out of it, so I'm surprised so far. It is very light, so we'll see. All right, let me get my watercolor palette. Okay, I grabbed my Mei Liang palette, but I figured if I've got this box here, I might as well swatch these real quick so you can see. And I grabbed my little quill brush. So I'm just going to go through and do some quick marks with either of these. So far, I am really happy with The colors, how they write, I mean, there's no problem writing on this. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see better. Okay, I'm just going to do these swatches on this thinner paper for now. And we'll just go through all the colors so you can see. This is a set of, I believe, 10. There is a black, which is nice, and that's a pretty good looking brown. I'll be interested to see how it kind of flows out onto the paper. All right. So I've got my quill brush from Hobby Lobby, and let's start here. Man, I picked up hair out of my jar with my brush. All right, here is the orange. Here is the red. And because these are like art crayons, they have, they'll still leave some of that texture. I have found though that if you are working mixed media and you're on gessoed paper, then it will have a much smoother finish when you dilute it with water. Now, these colors seem to kind of vary. This sort of peachy color, I can barely see it on my paper. This blue is really nice. So is this green. They're a little bit, you know, I don't think there's going to be a huge pigment load here, although I really don't have any difference that I can see between the yellows, which is kind of interesting. And maybe I didn't really color enough. I like this brown. That brown's pretty good. And then here is the black. The black looks pretty good too. And it's almost like a watercolor when you wet it down. So I'm going to hold this up so you can see. And you can see the difference or the similarities between those two yellows also. Now I will say this is dry. I've got a little bit of warping here that I can feel, which makes sense because the paper is thinner. I do not feel the same warping on this side. It's very, very slightly raised up. But this is actually, it has ripples. However, the wetness and everything, I mean, it looks the same once it's dried. I think that there's just a little bit more warping on this one, which makes sense because it's thinner. Let me go into my actual watercolors now. And I'm trying to make sure you have a good view, but also not stuff everything into the same screen. So we're going to do what we can here. So I'm going to get pretty wet. I'm going to do some water here right on my paper. And then I am going to dip into my favorite Payne's Gray. Put a little bit here in my palette. And then drop that in here. All right, now let's do a bit of a gradient. I'm just going to dip straight into my palette like this. Get a good load of color on there. And then drag this out. And look at how far I'm getting. That's pretty neat. All right, let's try a different color here. How about ultramarine blue? The colors just glow on this paper. I am really impressed. And I know this is thinner, but this is really nice to paint on too. And because it's a block, it doesn't really feel like, you know, I have to try to wrangle it. This is my turkey blue, I think, or nope, that's Prussian blue, which is fine. Prussian blue is also beautiful. And the spread's really nice, and you can see it's just got this even distribution. Okay, now I'm going to paint a shape let's say I'm making a leaf here, and I'm not working with too wet of a brush. All right, I'm going to drop some more green and see how this kind of spreads out. And just do a couple little dots in there too. Why not? Now let me do some blue. And maybe go to a darker blue. See how a little bit of a wonky gradient works on here. Okay. This spreads out nicely too. Boy, I tell you, I'm enjoying this paper. I don't know. I might not be going back. This is the thinner one too, but I'm just having the time of my life. All right. That looks good. Let me put some red in here. And how about we go, this is fresh blue. Oh, look at that. That was actually an accident, but that's pretty nice. I like that a lot. Wonder if I get it in here. Oh, look. There is some really nice paint spread on this. That's gorgeous. Okay. I see you, BaoHong paper. All right, I'm going to set this aside, this nice thin block, and grab the smaller but thicker paper right here. And I'm going to do some similar things, and then we can kind of compare and contrast. So I'm going to wet another square here. Drop in some Payne's Gray again, just like that. Make a little leaf shape. Drop in some darker green. A couple little dots there. Why not? Let's go into that same red that we used. Get a nice little load of color on there. And then I'm rinsing my brush and I'm going to drag this out. And that really has a nice spread. Let's do the same thing with this Prussian blue, which the Prussian blue in this palette is really pretty. All right. The color just glides on the paper. It's incredible. This might be a favorite. I don't know. I don't know. It's something. All right. So this is that turkey blue that I've got. And I'm just going to kind of put some down and add a little bit of red. And one thing I really would like to do, though, is try a Hake brush. And I can't pull any hair out of this, so that's a positive so far. I am going to dip this in my jar. And it has decent spring. All right. It looks okay. It's got some snapback, and you can see here. Now my other one, the goat hair, you push it down, it pretty much stays down. But this one kind of snaps back, and I'm still pulling out fibers from my jar from that stupid calligraphy brush. Ugh, it's awful. All right. That's such a bummer. gosh. All right, I'm just going to go right into the pan here and see how this goes down. I like doing these sort of big washes. All right, so I've got the red there. Let's go into some other color here that's kind of I'm losing hairs. I'm losing hairs on the Hake brush. But look at that color go out. That's just something. I'm going to give the Hake brush a couple of tries because I'm not losing hairs like I did with the calligraphy brush. Oops, I just squeezed a bunch of water on my paper. Don't do that, folks. Let me try to blot this up a little bit. Okay. The Hake might be a loser also. There, look at that hair. It's just all over. I'm going to hold this up so you can see the Hake hair. All right. The brush is a loser. All the brushes I got, actually, except for this really cute little liner brush. The one that feels the most, well, kind of crappy, is not losing hair. Go figure. And I can make some very nice lines with this. Very fine. Wonder what it's kind of letting loose in here. I can keep going with this thing. Go figure. I'll tell you what. It is high quality paintbrush, and it says so right here on the packaging, so you know it's true. I mean, it's the highest of quality. But if you see this pack, at the very least, these brushes aren't going to shed. I don't think I've lost a single hair on this thing. And it holds a really nice amount of water. It's nice and soft. I can make fine lines with it. It's got decent snap, if that's important to you. See? Comes right back into shape. It's just really weird looking. It's like this weird tube, and it might be plastic. Who's to say? I can't even tell. But this might be the sort of surprise of the day. I already knew to probably expect good things from the paper. That is kind of obvious, and I'm just sort of doodling here at this point. But there's some good things happening here with this brush, which I'm fine with, because these, if they keep shedding, these are going to go in the trash too. Because, you know, you can't have a brush that just keeps shedding everywhere. Then you have watercolor paper looking like that garbage. So let me put this stuff aside and kind of compare the papers. Actually, I'm going to let this dry completely, and I will be back when that's done. Okay, I am back, and we are completely dry, and I am so happy with this paper. It's really incredible. So both of them have the same surface feel. They're both cold press. This one is a lower paper weight, but honestly, it feels more ripply. These are both dry. This one has more ripples in it. This one has just a little bit, but still some. And honestly, on all my 140-pound papers, I have some warping. It's unavoidable, at least in my experience. But this one does have a little bit more. That said, they both performed extremely well with water and color. You can see them side by side, the same type of stuff that I was painting. I mean, in both of these, the colors spread beautifully. I mean, look at this. It's incredible. and even by accident up here. And then this had been sitting here for a minute, and it still just had this wonderful color spread. And my sort of washes here went very well, and it has a nice soft blend. And even on this one, so this wash had been sitting here. This is the one I did with my Hake brush. And I accidentally squeezed my brush on top of it and made a big puddle here and kind of mopped it up a little bit. But there's no cauliflower. It's really nice. And I mean, I don't get that in the Arch paper either, but it's so expensive to buy, and so I don't use it. But I can buy this to play with. These are very reasonable online, and I'm going to have prices and everything that I paid below. Now, that's subject to change over time, and things go on sale and stuff, but for the price, the performance of this paper is excellent. Now, I will say, like, the blending is superb. The lines are great. The color really pops off the page, and you can see that in both of these. They're really a pleasure to paint with. Now, I wanted to try one more thing, and I think that, you know, this, oh, by the way, this is with the Mei Liang palette, if I didn't mention that yet earlier. And I am really pleased. These are going to make it into some future videos, and I'm also really happy I got that larger pad. So I'm going to set that aside for a minute. I have some white space left on this paper. Now, it is a rough paper. It's not a rough paper, but, you know, it's cold press. It has a texture. But I really wanted to try this last thing, and that is these bamboo dip pens. And I'm not going to try all of them, just one. They're just different sizes. But I just wanted to get a feel for how it writes. I have never used one of these, so I don't really know if it's going to be great or not great, or great for a bamboo pen or not. But I've got some ink here. All right, I've got my fountain pen ink. And this is ink that I actually got from another set a while back. It's pretty liquidy, and it is black. So I'm going to just kind of set this aside and hopefully not spill it. And I believe you use the shorter end. This has the hole in it, which I think helps with flow. But again, I am a dip pen beginner. So let me know if I'm messing the whole thing up. So I have it dipped in ink, and I don't know if I might need to dip it again if it's something where the first time you use it there might be issues, but let's just write with this and see how it goes. So I'm just going to do a continuous line here, and that's quite a lot of ink. It does tend to kind of slow down, but on my downstrokes I noticed that I've got more flow. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. That way you can see all of my marks. And I'm writing kind of slow, and you can see the roughness in the paper kind of coming through, but this is kind of fun. Now, you know what I didn't look at is how the heck you clean these things. I guess you just sort of run it in water. We'll see. But this is kind of fun. Now I'm going to try to use the back end. The back end seems to write slightly differently, but you can actually kind of color with it a little bit. Seems like I like that sort of roughness, like when the ink starts to run out a little bit. It's almost like I'm coloring with crayon or something. I'm going to hold this up a little so you can see that texture. That's kind of nice. I think I'm going to enjoy using these. I kind of got it so I can maybe try it with some watercolor, maybe try it with some mixed media. You know, one thing that I tend to worry about a lot, I mean, a reasonable amount, I would say, is, you know, some of my more expensive pens, I don't want to put it in wet paint by accident and ruin the tip. But these, I mean, it's just basically a stick. So I don't really have to worry. But man, look at these organic marks when I go to the side. It's almost like using some kind of shading pencil. Let me make sure that's in the screen. This is a lot of fun. And you can get thick, thin. I can do dots. So that's interesting. I'm just kind of stabbing the paper. And it lasts. That's something. I think this was a good buy. These are going to be a lot of fun to play with, definitely. This is going to be less of a watercolor than just something with a bunch of lines on it. Wonder if I do the whole back side. Yeah, I mean, you can get a lot of different marks. Look at that. This is going to be something fun to play with. So I'm glad I got these. They're, you know, unfinished. They're just very simple little pens. Now this one, I thought it might be like Splinter City here, but it's actually pretty smooth. There's like this little tiny flap of bamboo kind of sticking out that I might need to sand, and it's almost like they went over a little knot in the wood or something like that. But besides that, they're pretty nicely carved, and I think that you can also alter your tips if you want something thicker. This one won't even fit. Well, I guess it may fit. Nope, not really. Just the very, very tip fits in that particular jar. But yeah, not enough to really write with, so I'm not going to bother. Well, there's a little. I'm just writing a tiny bit, but it's going down. This is a pleasure. All right, these are going to be a lot of fun to use. I'm going to quit messing around. I hope you enjoyed this video, and it's once again like my first haul, all over the place and semi-coherent, but maybe you got some value out of this video and all of the goodies that I unpacked from my bag. And we had some definite misses. I would say big fat thumbs down on the Hake brushes and those calligraphy brushes, but these liner brushes, I'm not mad at them, and I'm pretty sure they were really cheap, but they're not shedding, and they're the ones that I was most skeptical about. Similar to my first haul, I was really skeptical about that big quill brush, and I use it almost every day. So I guess it just goes to show you never can tell. Try a product. If it looks nice, it doesn't mean it performs well. And if it looks terrible, it might be one of the best things you buy. Now, that's not to say it's always going to be like that, but don't judge a book by the cover. Words to live by. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. Check out the description below, and I will put any information I can about the products that I purchased. And if you feel like buying it, great. If you don't, that's fine too. I can also put down alternative Amazon links if you prefer to shop on Amazon. If any of those are available on there, I'll make sure to link to them on Amazon. So anyway, enjoy your day. Happy crafting. Until next time, keep creating and have a wonderful, wonderful day.